Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Well, haven't got much done, unfortunately. So the pickup truck here, that is waiting on rear suspension links. Sorry, I got a hood here and a bumper that I just painted here not that long ago. I did get some stuff done on this that I did not record. It's running a whole lot better. I fixed the transmission, figured out what was wrong with that. I had planetary gears that were an issue in there. Unfortunately, for some reason they had rusted up, so that was my fault, I'm guessing, because that transmission had water in it at some point in time. Unfortunately, I'm having an issue trying to figure out a way to basically attach the rear end to the frame. Unfortunately, right now, I started ripping apart this side to do the brakes on it. I can't seem to pull those springs without moving the rear end, so we're gonna have to get that figured out. But it does run. I did find a belt for it, so we got that solved. I'm hoping I put the other water pump out of my other LS on here, so hopefully that resolves that. New water pump, so we should not be leaky anymore, but I haven't filled it up yet, so we'll have to do that soon. We'll be getting to it. We'll be getting to it soon. You know, this stuff costs a lot of money. That's why it's been taking so long, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Even though I use cheap stuff, try to save a buck, can only do so much at a time. So next up, I don't think I've shown it yet. Sorry, that light is kind of blinding. I know I've done videos on it, but I've probably never posted them. We have my 1968 Galaxy XL. So this is originally a 4-speed 428 car, bucket seat, disc brake. It was a nice car. It had gone to a junkyard at some point, and that caused some issues, you know? People stole pretty much everything out of the car. No 4-speed, no 428, no shifter pedal, nothing. The brake pedal's gone, shifter, gas pedal, all that's gone. I messed around with this a little bit, washed it a few times to bring it in the garage. This time it's cold out, so I didn't wash it at all. I'm not sure I like this view. Hold on. All right, we're gonna try this view instead. So it is missing a lot of stuff. Door handles, stuff like that. We do have rust, quite a bit of it. Luckily, I got a flashlight right here. So we got holes in the floor pan. I'm not sure what's all attached. We got lots of holes in the back end here. Both sides are pretty much the same way. They just got pans welded in. Passenger quarter, seen its better days. But unfortunately, stuff like this, you can't get the parts, a lot of parts for it. Now, at some point in time, the driver quarter was replaced. Don't know who, don't know why, don't know anything about that. But you can see, if you can look close enough, maybe without the light, right here, it's seamed in. All the way along there, it's seamed in. And then if you look at the door jamb, you can see some telltale signs. There, we need a flashlight. That it's been replaced. Because the factory welds would not be divoted in like that. So you can tell it's had some issues back here. Doors are not the best on either side. They got holes in them. A lot of rust to fix on this car. The trunk is just about as bad. Maybe we should pop the trunk. That requires me to roll a car forward here. Do have an engine I put in it, but it's not a good engine. It's just one that's been laying around here. All right, let me get a screwdriver and pop that lock. Looks like somebody used this as a painting station, which, you know, happens. All right. All right, let me bring you in here. Show you what we got going on. Probably need that flashlight. See if I can. Well, to start with, the back of the trunk lid here, there's supposed to be a panel that goes across here, and we do have it in here. It is right there, but that probably should be repaired. Good luck trying to find a replacement, at least up here in Minnesota anyway. We aren't going to find a replacement for this. Not in good shape. I do know where there's a parts car, and we're going to have to probably go take some parts off of it, which is fine and dandy. Most of the parts that we're going to take are interior parts. It doesn't have an engine in it. It's got a Thunderbird sitting on top of it. But luckily our glass is all good in here. So what we got here is a lot of parts. A lot of different parts. Some of the, I've had this, mind you, for a while, so I've already had this all cleaned out, put back, cleaned out a couple times. We have our heater box here, which, if I remember right, is cracked. It's got some issues. We probably have to reinforce that if we're going to use that. There's a door, I believe the radiator in there. Carb, a lot of trim. And one of the pieces that irritates me a lot is, I don't think it's this one. Probably have, oh, it's the other one in front of my face. This hood hinge. It's kind of got part of the fender with it too. So that's irritating. I have to weld the fender back together. But you know, it is what it is. So right now we don't have any hood hinges on here. We have a master cylinder that came off of, I believe it was the car that the gentleman I got this from was fixing up. So when he bought the car, he bought it for the reason it had manual stuff, basically. So he took the bucket seats out of it, he took the front discs out of it, power brakes, etc., and put it in his Galaxy, which is fine. It is what it is. But we're missing a fuel tank, pretty much everything. But we have rebuilt brakes, front and back. So speaking of this heater box here, I had picked up parts for this thing a long time ago. I've actually owned this for over a year now. So in the back end here, we got new shocks already. I got a heater core and a fan. My intent was to make this into a decent, well, somewhat decent car anyway. At least initially. The reason I bought this was for the chassis, which I was told is good. I haven't taken the body off the chassis because we don't have a hoist. So I'm hoping the chassis is good. It looks decent, but I've already had a piece break off of it, so it's questionable at best. You see the rear bumper's been pushed in here. Don't know why, so we'll probably have to wrap a chain on that or something and pull it out and see what happens. But I was gonna buy I bought this car for the frame. Frame to use for the 66 wagon I was hoping to rebuild, but that didn't pan out because of rust. I'll push this car back again. Try to anyway. Maybe. All right, now that that's back again, we can somewhat open the hood up. No hinges here, so bear with me. All right, so originally this is a 428 4-speed, and you can see we're missing, well, a few things. The heater box is in the trunk, so that's out of here. We're missing a wiper motor, brake booster, master cylinder, all that stuff's gone. Radiator's gone. The engine that's in here is a 429 out of a Thunderbird. So that's the one that I had sitting right over here on this engine stand where the 6-liter is. Fits in there actually quite well. It isn't about the position that it would need to be in. I have a drive shaft that would actually fit this car and the transmission that's in it, which is a C6. Came out of that wagon. Suspension, you know, it is what it is for right now. The springs in the front are rock hard. It really didn't even lower the car when I put this big block in, which is surprising to me. But, you know, let me see if I can get this hood out of the way here real quick. A lot of rust in there. The whole front end on this car is loose. Literally loose. The fenders will come off. The fenders have been off. We've had the whole front clip off, but it's been off in one piece. So at this point, needs a windshield, needs wipers. So basically at this point, I've gone through all of my extra cars that I have laying around, which, mind you, is quite a few. That light is bright, I'm sorry. It was quite a few. So I had my 83 Mustang T-top gone. Sonoma S10 gone. The Thunder Chicken, the old Thunderbird, gone. Chevette gone. I know there was a couple others, but everything. This is pretty much what we're left with. We got my wife's truck, the XL, and out back behind the garage we have my F100, which I don't drive pretty much because I don't really fit in it, and my son's 83 Camaro that I've done videos on, but I haven't posted them yet. Working on finishing that. Then my son's 96 Mustang, one of my youngest son's 96 Mustang. So we've really narrowed down the herd for what we got, and this didn't make the chopping block, and I'm okay with that, but we need to get it up and running. I'm hoping to do drag and drives with it. That would be a fun car, and in my opinion, to do drag and drive with. You know, she's a beast. We do need a front bumper, which is out of my buddy's place where I know the parts car is. We need some things. We need to figure out a bunch of things. It's got a 9-inch missing a center section. Well, I have a center section out of that rear end I narrowed for that S10. Wrong spline. I had 31 spline, these are 28 spline. So get new axles, don't get new axles, I don't know. Because I have a center section for a 9-inch, I have an open diff. I can get a mini spool for. Actually sitting right down here. So we got I can get a mini spool for that, and then we can run the stock axles that are on. That should be a 31 spline as well. Do we go ahead and put this 429 in there, make mounts, and make this work? Do we try to make the 6-liter work and a Power Glide, which I have right there, or a Turbo 400? Or what do we do? I myself don't know if I can bring myself to put the 6-liter in this. Literally, I'm okay with the big block. I'm even okay with a small block in it. The hard part that I have with this car right now is literally the steering. Without cutting anything up, because of all the class rules and everything else you got out there, it makes it all hard. The steering runs behind the cross member here, so you have to have a front sump, which is fine, great, dandy. But the unfortunate thing for me is if I wanted to run an LS in it, that's rear sump. You can get a front sump pan, but it still sits forward far like this. I don't even like it sitting this far forward. I'm not fond of it. I would rather push everything back from. But that makes for a mess, and then you got to cut the firewall and transmission tunnel. Putting a cage in, not a big deal. We can throw a cage in here, but do we want to limit ourselves to 850s, or do we want to try and push this thing past 850s and go with a 25.3 cage? I don't know. The floor is pretty much trash already in the car. I mean, we got holes down in the cowl. We got holes pretty much everywhere through the car. It's rotted. I'm just having a hard time figuring out what I'm gonna do right now at this moment. Broken grill here. Well, there's a good one on the parts car. This one on the parts car is not there, but we have a passenger side. These do open. We got issues with the vacuum, so I'll probably change that to, well, I don't know if we have issues with the vacuum. There's going to be issues with the vacuum at some point, so I'm going to change that over to electric more than likely. So where do we go? What do we do? What do you think? Do we stick a big block in it? Do we put a small block forward in it? Where should we go? I don't know. I gotta try and do it on a budget. Well, that stupid light. I gotta try and do this on a budget. Best budget I can. Well, that involves using a lot of what I have or what I can get relatively inexpensively. So it's a matter of either using the big block. I have access to, and you know, the transmission that's in here is probably junk too, realistically, but I have access to other Ford transmissions, C6s, that I could use, small block pattern or big block pattern, and I can just go grab them. Not a big deal. I just have to go get them. That's the big deal, which really isn't a big deal either. Where do we do it? Do we try and make the LS fit and modify an oil pan to make it work around that steering in the back? Because it was close, but then we'd have to modify the transmission tunnel, modify the heater box, because we wouldn't have access for that. I don't know. What do you think? What should we do? Help me out on this one. Where should we go with it? Yeah, let me know. What do you think we should do? We got places we can go with this, but let me know what you think. I have a set of mock-up tires up there, but they're wheels that are going to go on this car. Right now it's drum all the way around. Is it going to stay that way? I hope not. I want to put discs in the front, but unfortunately the front wheels I have are 15 by 4s, I think, and I don't know if they'll clear a caliper. They work on the drums, but if we're going fast with this thing, well, we kind of need more than drums, ideally. Let me know what you think we should do, where we should go, where we should start, and we'll get something going. We'll figure something out. I know this motor has some issues, and yeah, we can figure something out. I know the first thing that's going to happen once I can get it to happen is the suspension on the back of here. That's going to be the #1 priority. Then I can get the brakes done and get all that functional and moving out of the garage. And we'll finish it up in the summer with finishing the bed, finishing other stuff, the upholstery. But it's pretty much done for the most part. Tires and upholstery and a battery. Intake, I think, is what I need for that, pretty much. So then this car is going to move where this is sitting. And then I'll have my son's 83 Camaro coming in here to get finished up. He wants to take that to prom. So, all right, we're going to finish off there. Just a little update, pretty much, shop update, if you will. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You know, hit that subscribe button. Let's see what we can do, and let me know what you guys think. Where should we go? Fix her up, make it nice, paint it. What should we do with it? Let me know. Have a great day.